Hey, how you doing? John here with Junk Guys Denton, junkguysdenton.com. Leaving the oil field and coming back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I'm going to haul junk for a living. And I couldn't be happier. Let's talk about time. Let's talk about money, and talk about indoctrination, and talk about how all of us have been led astray when it comes to money. I'm 40 years old. I was lucky to learn this lesson when I was about 31. Been chasing the oil field for the better part of my 30s, and been to Canada and Mexico, Africa, all kinds of places. I met a man a long time ago in the beginning of that massive oil field run named Jim Russell from Los Alamos, New Mexico. I call him Genius Jim. I call him Genius Jim because he's one of these uneducated guys, uneducated meaning just never went to college, who can memorize pages and pages of formulas. He knows exactly what's going on in the drilling down hole. He can write the formulas out on the marker board ad nauseum. He can do quantum calculus in his head. And he and I shared about a 70-foot office trailer in eastern Oklahoma for about half a year. And I was lucky to have him. You find these people, these old souls who come across in your life, and they're just gems, absolute gemstones that you find in your life, and these are the men and women that you need to listen to. And he always were giving me what I call Jimisms. One of them was, he said, hey, this is my third oil boom, and it's going to end. We started talking about how long it was going to be till it ended, and he was within about a month of the crash that happened in 2014. This is in 2012 when we were talking. He started talking about oil and how it's stored, how it's transported, how it's levied against loans, used as collateral. He very much understood money. And one thing I learned from him is that money is not a unit. We put money in units because it's easier, a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill. But money, as far as the energy and the velocity of our life, is actually measured in time. And this is how the rich measure money. It's another reason why I left the oil field. As you can see, I'm in my state park near my house. I wanted time back. And probably should have come home from the oil field 5 years ago, but I was chasing money. Here's how you measure money. Here's the wrong way. If I have a $10 bill and lunch costs me $10, then my mind thinks that lunch is 10 units of currency, 10 $1 bills, right? It's not how it works, because you haven't equated for how you got the 10. So let's go back the pipeline. Let's say you have a job. You make $10 an hour. Let's not account for taxes and all that. But you make $10 an hour. And lunch costs you $10. Well, lunch did not cost you those 10 units of money. Lunch cost you 1 hour of your labor. And if you start looking at money as time, you start looking at money very differently. What it did to me was it kicked my money savings into overdrive. And I bought a very small house that we were renting for under $100,000, and I paid it off because I started understanding the way the bankers charged me interest on a 30-year mortgage. I did the math, and I understood that if I paid for an entire 30 years, I could have bought the house 3 times over. And that would have been time that I would have handed to them. And I didn't want to. So I ramped up my money savings. Paid off the cars. Same thing. You have a piece of metal. It's going down in value. It's taking money from you. It's got a time limit on it. It's got an expiration on it. And you're going to have to replace that piece of metal one day. And so it's funny, I come home from the oil field. I came home September 8th, 2019, and I've already had men calling, and I've had local people, neighbors and my wife's friends. And they don't ask me how much I have directly, but they want to. They want to say, well, how much did you save? It's a complicated question to answer because I paid off the house and the car, so you could equate for that. But the short answer is I could probably live for 5 years you know, barring anybody getting cancer or something catastrophic, I could probably live for 5 years off of the time that I saved. Time being the house has no payments, time being the cars have no payments, time being the US dollars that I did save along the way. And so what I purchased myself was the future. And I've gotten a hold of the different junk guys, Ricardo, Tim in Nevada, and Matt, California, and other junk people that I've written. And I'm following their advice, going hiking, losing weight, because what did I purchase? Well, I purchased myself 5 years. Now, I'm not going to wait 5 years to start making money, of course, but I'm going to start the junk company, start cash flowing my life again. But we don't measure money correctly. And if you want to start measuring money in your head, start looking at lunch. Just start with lunch. Say, how much did that lunch cost me? It cost me 2 hours of my labor, 1 hour of my labor, 4 hours of my labor, who knows? And then your mind will start to change. And you'll notice that on the banking websites, you know, Bank of America and Wells Fargo and those guys, they have all these little personal finance calculators. You'll start laughing at those calculators because those calculators are built for the bank. They're not built for you. And that's how we all should measure money. I thank the gods that I got to work with Jim Russell, such a brilliant man. He's probably in his mid-60s by now, back in New Mexico, you know. And he probably has 100 years worth of money. He was so smart. And I appreciated everything that he told me. And I wanted to pass that along to you. So start measuring your money in time.